Accra. Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is live across the globe on citinewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. I am Wilma Obuobi Sakoman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Charles Owusukumi.
Coming up over the next 1 hour, Eastern Regional Security Council places ban on all traditional public events at Nsawam-Adoajiru following the shooting incident that claimed 3 lives.
We are cautioning each and every person within this Adoajiru township in particular to observe the Public Order Act. Otherwise, you will encounter the wrath of the state.
Also coming up, economist John Gachi says government's invitation for more bondholders to participate in the new domestic debt exchange program is an indication of its failure.
Whatever has been announced to be a successful debt exchange program has not been able to meet the expectation of showing a better management of our debt. So it means that the situation is still precarious.
Still ahead, government to complete demolition of all inner toll booths on the Tema motorway as it moves to protect motorists following their decommissioning. And later, we'll tell you why residents of areas with deplorable inner roads across the country should brace themselves for the worst.
Over, let's see, about 60,000 kilometers of roads that we manage. Our network has only about 25 to 30% paved. Most of the network is unpaved. And when I say it's unpaved, it doesn't have bitumen surfacing or any other type of rigid surfacing.
Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is also live across the country on a number of affiliate stations. In the Western region, we're on Premier FM 100.5 and Beach 105.5 FM, both in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we are live on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we are on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are on Apone Radio 96.7 FM in Kando and Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi. In the Northern region, we are live on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East, this is Word FM 88.3 in Zuarungu. And in the Upper West region, we're on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura and Northeast Eagle FM 94.1 in Waliwali.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. The Eastern Regional Security Council, RECSEC, says police personnel investigating recent shooting incident at Nsawam-Adoajiru are yet to make any arrest with regards to the disturbance which led to the killing of 3 people. RECSEC issued a communique condemning the deadly attacks after a meeting with the 2 feuding faction. The Eastern Regional Minister and Chairman of RECSEC, Seth Kwame Echampong, who spoke to the media after visiting the bereaved family, says there is a ban on all traditional public events in the area.
We're asking our people within this municipality to respect the Public Order Act, in particular in taking steps with respect of Section 1, subsection 1 to 5. We're saying that each and every person that decides to hold a special event must get in touch with the appropriate state institution, which is the Ghana Police Service, and give them notice as the law stipulates. We expect all and sundry to abide by these enactments. And we have quoted verbatim what special events are. We are expecting every person to respect these rules. Our concern is that we want the community Adoajiru to return to its normal state, where people within the neighborhood will go about their daily chores unperturbed, unreserved against anything, conditionless, so that they are all doing all they are doing, what they must do, what they intend doing, without any fear. We hate it. And as such, we are cautioning each and every person within this Adwajiri township in particular and its environs to observe the Public Order Act. Otherwise, you will encounter the wrath of the state. And we don't want that to happen to any person of the Republic.
You heard the Eastern Regional Minister and Chairman of RECSEC, Seth Kwame Echampo. Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for the area, Frank Anodompre, who described the happenings as very unfortunate, called on both factions to remain calm and ensure peace prevails in the area.
We should give peace a chance. But ordinarily, my people are peaceful. There was a cost to it, and we must all be seen to be addressing that. I'm happy the regional minister has taken the matter up. The regional commander himself is here. The signals were on the wall, so we shouldn't take things for granted. We should just beef up security, and I'm sure that we'll come out of the situation. I'm a very sad man because we are beginning to get development projects that we have never experienced in many, many years. And all of a sudden, this one came in. So, but I'm sure we'll deal with that. And the feedback is very encouraging. So we'll continuously appeal to residents and the youth that they should exercise restraint. I mean, in the face of extreme provocation, they should still exercise restraint.
That was the Member of Parliament for Nsawa Madweju, Frank Anodompre.
The Coalition of Concerned Teachers has welcomed the new reopening date for basic schools by the Ghana Education Service, GES. The GES yesterday announced that the reopening date for first term of 2023-2024 academic year for basic schools is scheduled for October 3, 2023. The Coalition of Concerned Teachers says the academic calendar for basic schools was disrupted as a result of the outbreak of COVID-19, hence a return to the usual schedule by GES is a good move. President of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers, King Ali Audu, spoke to Citi News.
The new reopening date and its accompanying academic calendar that has been put out by Ghana Education Service was a negotiation between the Education Service and the unions. So we are part of it. Last year, we negotiated that this year we should bring the academic calendar to the September beginning academic year. During the time of COVID, because of COVID, the academic calendar was distorted. So we've been able to do exactly that by bringing it back to September, October, beginning of the academic year. So what the Education Service put out there was something that we, the unions, negotiated with them. So we are very much aware of it.
King Ali Audu, however, urged the government to settle all outstanding arrears of the capitation grant to ensure the smooth administration of basic schools.
Capitation grant is in arrears. It's in arrears of about 3 tranches. We did not book it that the 10 series or so per head capitation grant in itself is woefully inadequate, and it is also not being paid on time. The money is inadequate and the payment does not also go. So the basic schools are always suffering. Meanwhile, the head is barred from taking any form of money from the students or from the parents as PTE. And for that matter, you go to some of the schools, they do not even organize any end of term exam. Or if they organize, they may have to write questions on the board, because if they decide to take money from the pupils to go and print examination, it will be a challenge. The basic school has a lot of challenges.
You heard the president of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers, King Ali Audu.
Now, away from that, an economist, Professor John Gachi, has indicated that the government's domestic debt exchange program, DDEP, has failed, hence the invitation to more bondholders to participate in the program. The Finance Ministry, in a statement yesterday, invited bondholders of ESLA PLC and Dacha Trust PLC to participate in the domestic debt exchange program. The DDEP is necessary in order to help bring the country's debt to sustainable levels and revamp the ailing economy. Professor Professor John Gachi has been reacting to the invitation by government to the bondholders.
That whatever has been announced to be a successful debt exchange program has not been able to meet the expectation of showing a better management of our debt. So it means that the situation is still precarious, and those other bonds ought to come in to be able to help them further strengthen their books. That is the first implication. Of course, there are complications as to the holders of the ELPLA PLC. That's supposed to be the vehicle by government. So there is some kind of confusion there. But as it stands, it means that the debt exchange program has not helped to limit the vulnerability of the finances of the economy. So you needed to do more to be able to get a better result. The hole created by the financial situation of the country is so deep that this additional exchange will not solve the problem. The problem is just so deep and precarious.
You heard Professor John Gachi, who is an economist.
Now, the Pensioner Bondholders Forum has rejected government's latest offer to participate in the domestic debt exchange program. Government has reopened the February 2023 exchange to allow eligible holders, including collective investment schemes and persons 59 years and above, to partake under terms similar to the February exchange. The new invitation has added Category B bondholders who are eligible holders 59 years and above. Convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Ananientwi, in an interview with Citi News, explained that the pensioners do not intend to be part of the new program.
Collective investment schemes who didn't tender in now to accept that, well, if we don't take this, our monies will be there for God knows when we are going to get the money. So I believe that has resulted in what government want to do now, so that those collective investment schemes that are there not covered will come in. And they have added all others, as if all others also want to bring in their bonds. I don't know what the individuals will say. This is a decision for individuals to take. But for pensioners, my view is that this document should not even contain any mention of Category B holders. Category B holders shouldn't be mentioned in this document. This document is for people who willingly decided not to come under, and now they have changed their mind to come under. I should not put pensioners inside, because pensioners did not willingly say they won't come under for them to change their mind that we want to come under. We were exempted, period. That is those who are above 59. And therefore, I don't want to see any mention of Category B holders even in this document.
Dr. Edu Ananientwi is the convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum.
Now, campaign team members of Kennedy Ejapong are projecting a 70% win for the Asin Central Member of Parliament in the November 4 flag bearer election of the New Patriotic Party. The team maintains that Mr. Ejapong's #1 position on the ballot puts him ahead of the remaining candidates contesting to lead the MPP ahead of the 2024 elections. The team has intensified its campaign in the Ashanti region and vows to go all out to get delegates to vote for Kennedy Ejapong. The campaign team members spoke to at the launch of the Showdown Ken for Power campaign in Kumasi.
Now, currently, Ghana, we need a savior like Kennedy Ejapong who will come and redeem Ghana from such a hardship. Honestly, when you talk to individuals, everybody is calling for Kennedy Ejapong to come. The #1 is a miraculous number. This time, everything is showing that all wind of change, all wind of victory is blowing to Kennedy Ejapong's end. And I can assure you, and I can testify, MPP delegates shouldn't make a mistake.
People are tired of the system. People are looking for somebody who can give hope to the people. People are looking for somebody who can create wealth for the people. People felt that among all the contestants, he's the right person to lead Ghana. Bring hope for us to believe that, yes, I'm a Ghanaian. What the white man can do, we Ghanaian can also do it. That's why you see all these people rallying support for him because they believe in him. What I see in simple terms is acceptance, it's approval. It is adding to the statement that is made that without Kennedy Japan, there's not going to be any vote. He's the people's choice. God has chosen him. The people of Kumasi and Ghana have chosen him. Nothing will change that. And we are urging the delegates to go massively to vote for him. Otherwise, the party will suffer.
You heard campaign team members for MPP flag bearer aspirant Kennedy Ejapong.
The contractors responsible for the toll booth demolition have shifted their focus to the Tema-bound side to continue the exercise they began yesterday on the motorway. Presently, work is underway to demolish the remaining portions to facilitate the smooth flow of traffic and curb frequent accidents. Site contractor with China Railway No. 5 Engineering, Samuel Aidan, spoke to Citi News.
It's around 8 p.m. yesterday. So this morning we are here at the Toll Plaza trying to do same. We have begun for some minutes ago, and then we are hoping to complete within the next 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, the demolition exercise is meant for the Tema motorway to be open. I mean, for us to have a straight path from Aflao towards Accra and then from Accra towards Aflao.
But why not demolishing the entire thing and just doing a portion of it?
Good. It's because of the fact that the main focus is on the toll booth, the Tema motorway. The Tema motorway, for instance, has two lanes, one outer and then one inner. It spans all the way from Shashi up to this way, and then it is 2 lanes. So that is the reason why our main focus is on the straight path, which is the 2-lane straight path.
But if you leave the other ones and vehicles begin to knock them again, what are the chances that you will not come back to do the same job again?
All right, with the stage 2, our demolition exercise here has been grouped into stages. We have the stage 1, which is the demolition. Stage 2, we are going to install some concrete barriers. The concrete barriers is such that it's going to help vehicles to define itself into the Tema motorway itself. So they will not have access to be able to drive over there. So the other toll booths will not function any longer.
Thank you.
Samuel Aidan is site contractor for the demolition of toll booths on the Accra-Tema motorway.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Now, some stories we've been bringing you. The Eastern Regional Security Council has placed a ban on all traditional public events at Insawam Adwejiri following the shooting incident that claimed 3 lives. Also, we had economist John Gache saying government's invitation for more bondholders to participate in the new domestic debt exchange program is an indication of its failure. But still ahead, or still to come in the bulletin, we'll tell you why residents of some of areas with deplorable inner roads across the country should brace themselves for the worst. We'll bring you details of that and other stories shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
It's time for the ultimate corporate sports gathering, the City Business Olympics 2023. Get ready to unleash your competitive spirit and showcase your athletic prowess as we bring together the best of the best from the corporate world. From traditional sports like 7-a-side football, basketball, sack race, and volleyball to unique challenges like tug of war and arm wrestling, there's no shortage of excitement and adrenaline pumping action. So gather your colleagues, lace up your sneakers, and get Get ready to compete in the Citi Business Olympics. It's time to show off your skills, build connections, and have a blast in the ultimate corporate sports extravaganza. To register your company to participate, call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973 now. Which company will emerge as champion and which CEO will win the Ultimate CEO's Challenge at the Citi Business Olympics 2023? We'll find out on 30th September 2023. Venue, Eden Heights Sports Complex. Wager, time 8 a.m. The Citi Business Olympics 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Lozati Lozenges from Unicom Chemist Limited, EK Brand Consult, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, and Hollard Insurance.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Minerals Commission has transferred its acting Western Regional Director, Francis Anobil, to Koforidua in the Eastern Region. Reasons for this transfer is not clear, but comes on the back of a quarry explosion that occurred last Saturday at Antoaboso in the Shama district of the Western Region, which led to the death of 5 people and injury of others. The Minerals Commission had revealed after the explosion that the quarry was operating without proper authorization.
Now, the Bono Regional Forestry Commission has intercepted 21 trucks loaded with illegal lumber from various reserves in the enclave. Out of the 21 trucks, 11 had no documentation, while 5 had documentation, but the species of the lumber were different from the ones on the truck. The remaining trucks, which had documentation, however, had additional wood stolen from the reserve. Speaking to Citi News, the Regional Forestry Commission Manager, Augustine Jedu, said his outfit will do all it can to protect the forest reserve.
For some time now, Forestry Commission in the Bono region has been experiencing some attacks from illegal lumber operators in some of our forest reserves. Notable ones are the Square Forest Reserve, which is within the Union Forest District, and then the other one is in Pamiso Forest Reserve, which is within the Mangrove Forest District. The modus operandi of these illegal operators is that they are armed to the teeth. And when we go to the forest, they beat us up. And if you remember, in July 1st, they kidnapped one of our staff when they went to a Square Forest Reserve to evacuate some wood. And because of that, going to the forest became very difficult for us. The Forestry Commission therefore adopted a plan B, that's a new strategy. That if they can beat us in the forest, we also wait for them on the road. So for the past 1 month, we have been able to intercept some of the lumber leading trucks. This is phase 1. Phase 2, we are going to continue chasing them. Anybody that will get within the trustees, we're going to send them to court. We'll prosecute them by law.
That was the Bono Regional Forestry Commission Manager, Augustine Jedu.
Now, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA, is seeking partnership with academia to improve Ghana's transport sector. The authority, as part of the initiative, will train staff at universities to enhance skills for better services. The DVLA says its mission is to reduce road crashes, emphasizing the need for research to boost service quality and national development. Deputy Director in charge of Research, Business Development and Innovation at the DVLA, Abraham Zato, spoke about the initiative.
This is a partnership we are building with the university. KNUST has enormous technical capabilities, and we have the processes as defined in law. So we bring in these processes down to the University of Science and Technology. So what we want to do is to develop systems that can talk to each other, optimize the processes so that right here on campus, the student will go through all the processes to acquire a driver's license. You may see in the near future that KNUST collaboration with DVLA, may have a training center where students can go in and learn how to drive, And so all of those will be defined clearly in the MOU that we'll sign up for and ensure that this is one of the excellent projects that we'll have to show in the sub-region and indeed across the world.
Abraham Zato is the Deputy Director in charge of Research, Business Development and Innovation at the DVLA. Now, the management of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology welcomes the initiative and plans further collaboration with state agencies. Dr. Norris Bekoin is the Relations Officer of KNUST.
We thrive as a university on constructive partnership, and the Vice Chancellor makes it clear every time. And we are who we are, the number one in terms of quality education globally because of this constructive partnership that we have. And we have over 150 counting partnerships. And this is going to be one of the best, having a regional center of excellence that will train drivers, train DVLA staff, and even train our students. It's something we find very useful. And we are very excited about it because we have been in talks with the DVLA for some time now. And so we have even gone ahead to allocate a land close to the teaching hospital around Buedi. And so we are waiting feverishly to complete the process of having an MOU, having a technical team, and then roll out the project.
You heard the University Relations Officer of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Norris Bekoin.
The General Agricultural Workers Union, GAUD, has described as unnecessary the current politicization of the cocoa sector by the two major political parties, the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party. This follows the announcement of a new cocoa price at the opening of the 2023-2024 cocoa season by government on Saturday. The flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, described the current price of 1,308 cedis from the old price of 800 cedis as a rip-off. The governing party at a press conference yesterday also took a swipe at the former president, saying his government in 7 years added a little over 200 Ghana cedis to the price of cocoa. Speaking to Citi News on the latest development, the General Secretary of GAU, Edward Karwe, called on the policymakers to shift their attention to improving the lives of cocoa farmers rather than politicizing the cocoa sector.
Certainly, I'm feeling sad that an important sector as the cocoa sector is being politicized of who has done better than the other. It's neither here nor there. What we are looking for is what is the future of cocoa in Ghana? How do we want to use cocoa to leverage the development of this country? How do we want to use cocoa to reduce poverty in our country? How do we want to use cocoa to benefit people of this country? So, and to do that, we have to look at the structural challenges that face the cocoa industry, which is not different from the agricultural sector. One, our major threat to cocoa today, cocoa production and agricultural production is galamsey. And the galamsey is such that it inflicts permanent destruction to agricultural infrastructure, and including cocoa. The lands that are available for cocoa are being destroyed, apart from the fact that existing cocoa farms are being destroyed either through the complicity of the farmers or through some coercive means by the galamsey miners who divert dirty water onto the farms of cocoa farmers who refuse to sell their farms. These are things that we have to be concerned about, but not about who has done better or who has not done better.
Edward Karwe also spoke about the current cocoa price.
When it comes to prices, given the economic situation, certainly I have heard some of the farmers asking for 3,000, and I said it is legitimate to make such a demand. Even if they ask for 4,000, 5,000, it's legitimate. Except that if you look at the value chain, it is not only farmers. Farmers produce, then there is a process to export the cocoa, and there's cost relating to that. The value chain, there are different stakeholders who depend on the cocoa. So as to what is enough for the farmers and what is not enough, sometimes it's very subjective in the sense that farmers have expectations, and as labor, whenever we are looking for wage increases, we make a certain expectation. At the end of the day, we don't get that expectation. So it is very difficult for me to say say that this is fair, this is not fair. If they are able to give the farmers more, I would applaud that. If they are not able to give the farmers, and then we know that they are going to improve upon the farming product and make production more efficient so that cost of production comes down, then of course that is also another way.
That was the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Karwe.
Residents within the Gas Central municipality want immediate attention from appropriate authorities to fix their deplorable inner roads. According to them, access routes to their homes are riddled with potholes. Citi News' Frema Edunyami visited some communities within the assembly and filed this report.
Now, oftentimes when we talk about the deplorable nature of our roads, our attention most of the time goes to highways, mainly like main roads. But you ask yourself, how do you get to these main roads? This is why today we are focusing on our inner roads, the access roads that we use just to make sure that we get to possible areas that we probably feel it has to be saved, even though those areas are not any better. We are currently here at Anya Palace Town, and the roads are quite bad. If you're not too familiar with this space and it's dark, just as it is in many areas, it is going to be very dangerous, and that will be a recipe for disaster. So we'll try and get some people to talk to and, just get to know their experiences when it comes to plying these routes. Now, when it's even during the rainy season, you can imagine what goes on here. What we are currently experiencing, the roads are pretty bad, huge potholes and very, very wet weather as well. The grounds are very wet. So how often do you use this road?
Almost every time, almost every 2 days, yeah.
Okay. What do you do?
I teach.
Okay. Yeah. So share your experience, applying this route with us.
It's actually, it's overbearing. You have to visit the mechanic almost every month just to check your links and every other thing, especially when you care for your car. Because the road, it's pretty bad. There ain't no public transport, so definitely you have to use your own car. And when this happens, it takes a chunk of your money, and it's crazy. Sometimes you can budget to leave home quite early, and okay, your link breaks on the road, you have to stop. The Gonsa Road to Bowie is being fixed, or somewhat fixed, and I couldn't ply. You can see my tires. I just couldn't use it. I had to detour. So this is a detour. I was actually going to Malam, but this is a detour.
So how long have you been living here?
I've been here for over 21 years.
Oh, right. So share your experience living in this area. Your roads are pretty bad.
I came down from Ejumaku to this place 2021. At that time, the gutters even are not built. But during the Kufo era, these gutters were being constructed just after NDC won the elections. Everything stopped. And since then, nobody, not even 1/4 gallon of bitumen have been put on this road.
Wow. So how does this affect your everyday life?
We are managing, because even the assemblyman doesn't care about this. When it gets to the DC assembly election, he'll be giving people, those around his area and that, giving them some cash and drinks, and they vote for him. Me, I've never, and I would never vote for any assemblyman.
Why? Because you are Ghanaian.
I'm a Ghanaian. Yes. But their attitude, all that they want is, after 4 years, the money that will be given to them into their pockets.
The young, the aged, the concern is the same. The roads pretty bad. The request, government must fix the road. And this is the cry of many Ghanaians in other areas. This is an experiment of how drivers go through this particular stretch. We are focusing on our inner roads. How decent are they, considering what we see on the highways? A pickup, a four-wheel that is trying to cross to the other side of the road, and the tires are moving. This tells you that small cars or saloon cars are not, supposed to toy with this stretch, because it could be very dangerous for you. What some people have to go through every single day. So they go through the morning, and after a stressful day, this is what they have to also go through to their homes. Right, so we are still exploring the state of our roads, especially the inner ones, and we are here at Deeper Life, also in the Anya Sotum area. A car struggling to just come up, and this is the fate of many drivers in this area. So you see a helpless lady trying to just climb the hill up there, but it is that bad. So, oh gosh, she's finding it really very, very difficult to do that. Now, we don't know what is going to happen. She's still trying. But this is what some people have to go through every day of their life, simply because they live right here in Accra, Ghana. Yeah, so, there's a gentleman there trying to offer help. So, it is that kind of road where you get to a certain portion and you need to get down and apply your mathematics. You need to do some calculation and then decide which part of the road you need to use. All right. You seem to be very upset.
Very, very.
What's the problem?
You look at the road. Look at the road. We've been voting. We've been doing everything from Ayokobo Street's time up to now. The landlords over here, we ourselves, we contribute to the benefit of the road. Okay. You understand? We use our own money.
Now I have here with me a unit committee member. He is Edoji Tevi Akwete. Thank you very much. Welcome to Citi Newsroom.
Thank you, madam.
You are the eye of the community. What have you observed so far with regard to the state of your roads?
Now, let's take Palace Town stretch. Yeah. You can see it becomes, you can't, it's not motorable. And it poses few dangers to those who lives within the community. One is a health danger. Let's say somebody is in labor. You can't, even an ambulance should use this route. It's danger to the baby within and then the mother. This particular area where the motor has got into, we graveled the area, leveled it, and then when you go after the assemblyman's area, we did the same job there. But here we are today. Immediately the rain started, it has gone back to its worst stage again.
So how long has this stretch been like this?
This has happened, it has been like this for quite a long time, for about 8, 9, 10 years now.
Okay.
Yes.
So as it stands now, if you have to go back into the community to talk to your people, what would you tell them?
That is rather unfortunate. We keep also promising, because what the assembly is telling us is what we relay to the residents. So that is what we also tell them, that the assembly has promised to come to our aid. So therefore, there's also exercise patience for us.
Let's now take reactions from the MCE of Ghana Central.
I would plead with my constituents that noise-making demonstrations don't fix roads at all. But patience, if, just like you have come, a lot of them do come, and when I give them, we have about 35 residence associations, big ones. I've had discussion with over 23 of them. So right now, and with the evidence that we have presented to them, they know and they are aware and they believe that very soon attention will be given to their roads, and they will also be comfortable, just like there are areas that the roads have been done. One contractor told me that for him it has to do with the rain. So when the rain subsides, then he would come to site. It depends. At times, the contractors, some will come and take, after the award of the contract, it becomes a different story. This particular time that we're talking, as I'm talking to you now, on paper, there is a contractor on the road. On paper, because a contractor has been awarded to them, he's taking possession of the site. He brought his equipment and machinery there within a matter of 1, 2, 3 weeks. We went on inspection with the media. We were so happy, thinking that he was going to finish within a very short time. He's no longer on site. We chase him. If you call him today, as you are sitting before me, if I call you, tell you that you come.
So no funding or what?
He's some other contractor. I can't speak for him. He will tell. But the work he said that you have to do raise certificate before. Maybe he's going somewhere, I don't know. But yeah, he has not done the work to any substantial level here. So talking about non-payment here, there, having we almost most of the areas, Deeper Life, it also connects to Palace Town. That place too, on paper, he's been awarded to a contractor. On paper, he's on site because he moved there and they've taken a records that he's on site. But he came there 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, and then they start moving the items, his equipment, one after the other.
So issues concerning the deplorable state of our roads have flooded the airwaves for some time now. But really, what are authorities doing about this? The Ministry of Roads and Highways has been addressing some of these concerns regarding the state of our inner roads.
The Director of Urban Roads, Engineer James Amo-Godfred, has been sharing with Citi News the challenges government has had with the deplorable state of roads in the country. He tells us that a scheme is being put up to prioritize roads that are in dire need of repairs, together with stakeholders of various locations across the country, to have them rehabilitated.
Our network has only about 25 to 30% paved. Most of the network is unpaved. And when I say it's unpaved, it doesn't have bitumen surfacing or any other type of rigid surfacing. So with the advent of rains and other climatic conditions, you get them damaged over time. And that's why we undertake routine maintenance to make sure that we try to bring them up to speed as much as possible. However, the task is huge. So we've not been able to do it to the best of our wishes, I would say. But in trying to address this problem, what we have done is to undertake what we have described as integrated mobility plans for every municipality or metropolitan area in the country. We have assessed the needs and the challenges being faced within these municipalities and also come up with proposals. But it's in the draft stage yet. What we are intending to do is to discuss with the various stakeholders in each municipality so that we can together come up with a priority list. Because obviously, we cannot tackle all the problems as quickly as we would have wished, and it's going to take some time. However, if we collectively agree on what is important to the people who live there, then we are likely to meet them halfway and satisfy them. So that is the plan and the proposal that we are putting forward now. As I said, the plans are in the draft stage. We are validating some of them with our ministry. Then we can have the engagement with the people on the ground. Then we can work with it.
Commuters in the Ashanti region are mounting pressure on authorities to, as a matter of urgency, fix up major inner roads to help reduce traffic congestion within Kumasi. Although the completion of the 100-kilometer Kumasi Inner Roads project has significantly improved the state of some inner roads in the region, residents are drawing attention of authorities to some major areas that need to be prioritized. Our Middle Belt Bureau Chief Edward Opomafo reports.
In the Ashanti region, one of the key areas where you are likely to face traffic congestion is the main Accra to Kumasi highway, particularly between the Edum stretch through to the Tech Junction area. And so around that side, before you get to Angloga Junction, lots of road users try to dodge the traffic by using the stadium area through to the Angloga area. And this is a stretch that they use. But this portion of the road, that's the inner road, has been in a terrible state for a very long time. And so those who try to dodge the traffic by just getting the shorter routes, they face the difficulty of having their vehicles breaking down often. And also, because of the bad nature of this road, they face a number of difficulties. Particularly when it rains, it is terrible to use it. So we're here to find out from the regular users of this stretch to know how they have been feeling about it and specifically what they want authorities to do.
If after 6, if you tell somebody to take you to a chem or they will not say, I cannot go because the road is unmotorable, it charge you more than what is necessary. More than necessary. If it's supposed to be 10 cities, say 15 cities, 20 cities, because of the road unmotorable. That is what they decided. They have done. And so what you want is the roads to be fixed for us. Simple.
Another major area in the Ashanti region where road users have been complaining about the poor state of their inner roads is Fumesua. A number of communities here, such as Achem, Chikrom, Kokobra, among others, have been complaining about the fact that they struggle before getting to their various destinations. Fixing of various inner roads remains a major concern for many inhabitants within the Ashanti region, and as such, they want government to consider this as a priority. For Citi News, I'm Edward Upon Marfo, Fumesa, Ashanti region.
Earlier, you heard Citi News' Frima Edu Nyame on that report.
The Department of Urban Roads in the Eastern Region is urging drivers plying newly constructed asphalted roads in the region, especially in Koforidua, to strictly adhere to speed limits and road regulations. This plea comes after an aged woman was knocked down by a taxi at Old Estate Junction in Koforidua, killing her instantly. Speaking to Citi News about the incident, the Eastern Regional Director of Urban Roads, Engineer Samuel Mensah, said his outfit is taking a number of measures, including fixing faulty streetlights to enhance visibility on the roads.
So the drivers are supposed to, obey the speed limits. In town, some of the speed limits are around, shouldn't go more than 30 or 40 at some particular areas. I know we've improved the surfaces, the asphalt, town. It doesn't mean you should overspeed. The roads are better now. It doesn't mean you should overspeed. The road is supposed to provide good riding quality, but it doesn't mean you should overspeed. So, we've had incidents of some collision. An old lady was knocked down around Bula Spot and all that. We just completed asphaltic work. It doesn't mean we should overspeed. So we should all be cautious in driving in town. We are fixing the traffic lights at Bula Spot, and I think that will also regulate movement at that intersection and that stretch.
That was the Eastern Regional Director of the Urban Roads, Engineer Samuel Mensah.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka here in Accra with me, Wilma Ubobiso-Coleman and Charles Owusukumi. Still to come in the bulletin, Institute of Democratic Governance is calling government to embark on a self-introspection to tackle issues that threaten our democratic stability. We'll bring you details of the story and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Happy birthday to you. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
With the complexities of issues happening around us on a daily basis, it's the hard-hitting conversations and probing questions of the point of view that teases apart the twisted entanglements of politics and governance, as well as religious and social discourse. The point of view brings you the policymakers and duty bearers and drills down to the very bottom of issues. The point of view airs every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on Citi TV.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Now, the Institute of Democratic Governance, IDEC, says Ghana remains a beacon of democracy on the continent amidst the recent toppling of governments. The international community commemorates World Democracy Day every September 15 to highlight the essence of preserving democracy among countries. Speaking to Citi News ahead of the commemoration, a senior research fellow at IDEG, Dr. Kwesi Jonah, said the country, however, needs to embark on a self-introspection to tackle issues that threaten the democratic stability, including electoral violence.
Ghana continues to be a beacon of democracy, especially against the background of backsliding in some of our neighbors. But precisely because developments that are taking place in some neighboring countries, it is very important for us to examine ourselves very, very critically to find out where we can make further improvements in order to retain our position as a leading democracy in the continent. First, if you take a very critical look at our elections, you realize that even though we have been able to conduct already 8 elections, a reasonably safe, peaceful, credible elections, we still have pockets of violence. For example, during the last election in 2020, I understand about 8 people lost their lives. Up to now, we don't know exactly what has happened.
Dr. Kwesi Jonah is a senior research fellow at the Institute of Democratic Governance, IDEG.
Now, students of the School of Hygiene have announced plans to embark on a nationwide strike over their 2 years unpaid training allowances. Their latest stance comes following failed engagement with the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. In an interview with Citi News, the General Secretary of the Student Group of the School of Hygiene, Emmanuel Euku, said they are currently in discussions with the executives to determine a specific date for the upcoming protest.
Since all official diplomatic efforts have failed, and all is now clear that the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources has blatantly refused to pay us, they've made us understand that our last card is a demonstration, a peaceful one but very loud. You see, as I'm speaking now, I have a good friend in the Tamale School of Hygiene. His name is Combat. That guy and whole School of Hygiene certificate students who completed in 2021 still have arrears to be paid them. It has never been easy as School of Hygiene trainees going through this journey for 2 whole years without our training allowances. Due to this, the students' leadership seem to be at a wide junction because of limited resources. Our people are going through a whole lot of trauma over these unpaid allowances, and it is time for their relief. Therefore, by this communique, we are inviting all hands on deck. From toothpick to aircraft, we are leaving no stone unturned in the preparation for this massive protest in connection with the fight for our people. We therefore humbly plea for financial support from all old students or alumni of the schools of hygiene, environmental health practitioners, and other unions so as to make this march a massive one.
You heard the General Secretary of the student body of the School of Hygiene, Emmanuel Euku.
Now, the flag bearer hopeful of the new patriotic party, Dr. Owusu Efriakoto, is urging delegates to cast their votes overwhelmingly in his favor during the upcoming delegates conference scheduled for November 4. All 4 flag-bearer hopefuls of the New Patriotic Party yesterday balloted ahead of the conference, with the former Agriculture Minister Dr. Usufriyi Akoto picking the 3rd slot. In an address to the media, Dr. Akoto expressed his eagerness to serve the nation and lead the NPP to victory.
I pray that the 210,000 plus delegates who choose me as their leader, in whose hands the dear party of ours will flourish to victory come December 2024. My commitment to the development of this party is well known to all. Initiating the formation of overseas branches, serving in opposition leadership in parliament and in government as a cabinet minister are some of the strategic roles I have played in the development of this party and the nation. I'm relying on these contributions to convince the delegates to vote massively for me. Election is not a make or break issue for the party. It is to elect one of us to bear the flag of our noble party going forward to the presidential elections scheduled for the 7th of December 2024.
You heard flag-bearer hopeful of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Usufriyi Akoto.
Now, Accra Mayor Elizabeth Kwacho Saki has appealed to all persons in the city of Accra to ensure good hygiene. Speaking at the 125th anniversary launch of the AMA yesterday in Accra, she assured that the Assembly is making continuous efforts to tackle the issue of poor sanitation. She also urged all citizens to work hand in hand with the Assembly to achieve the aim of making the city clean.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Now, some stories we've been bringing you. Eastern Regional Council places, Regional Security Council, I beg your pardon, places ban on all traditional public events at Nsawam Adwejiri following the shooting incident that claimed 3 lives. We'll bring you some other stories, and the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization is encouraging public sector workers to fully embrace technological advancements for efficient service delivery across various sectors of the economy. The sector minister, Esla Owusu-Ekufu, maintains that it has become imperative for both civil and public officials to recognize the potential of emerging technology to transform national development. Speaking at the graduation of the first cohort of the DigSmart pilot graduation ceremony here in Accra, Madam Owusu-Ekufu urged the public service officials to constantly upgrade their skills competence.
My closing remarks, if I'm still here. So this ceremony today is not just a celebration of individual accomplishment, but it's a testament to the collective progress and our government's commitment to harnessing the power of digital technology. Because like it or not, our world is changing every day. And we cannot sit back and watch these processes unfold or leave it to the private sector. When we talk about public-private partnerships, the public sector must also be equipped to do its part, to engage with the private sector so that collectively we move our country forward. So possessing or acquiring digital skills is no longer a luxury, but a necessity. For it's the key that will unlock doors to endless opportunities, drive innovation, and empower individuals to shape their own destinies. And the more you improve upon yourself, the more opportunities are open to you, even beyond where you are today. There is nowhere you would go today, even from.
You heard the Minister of Communication and Digitalization, Esla Owusu-Ekufu. Meanwhile, the head of Civil Service, Evans Agri-Dako, underscored the need to leverage on technology to ensure transparency in the public sector.
The civil service is at the heart of the public sector. If you look at Article 190, it lists all the public services, and of course, any other service that Parliament shall enact or prescribe for us from time to time. And it's usually listed as number 1. It's not for decorations. It's critical, it's pivotal, to quote what my minister had argued, pivotal role that he plays in the scheme of things of our development.
We had the head of civil service, Dr. Evans Agri Darko. And that's it for Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I am Wilma Obubi Sakoman, and I did this with
Charles Owosukumi.
Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News. Many thanks for doing the listeners, and keep listening to Citi FM.
Citi 97.3.